going straight in towards the rosters. This one's going to be China.
Yes, it is. Top lane's going to be Let Me, jungle MLXG with Xie in the mid lane, Uzi down in AD carry with Mako his support.
Now, they smashed Kazakhstan in the first game of today, if you were able to see it. But of course, MLXG getting the MVP was interviewed, and they made a point to say that their major point of preparation was for this game, going up against South Korea. If they can take this one, they have a great chance of taking first in the group.
I mean, really, it has to be. These are going to be the probably biggest contenders, I reckon. Vietnam could be a bit of a curveball in this group, but of course, you've got to be looking to Korea as number one, number two, whatever you want to call it. I know there's a bit of a hubbub right now. It's like, who's the best region? Well, right here, this is going to be another stepping stone towards that moniker.
That's why if you're looking at towards a player right now, it's Uzi. Uzi on People's Republic of China is the star player to watch play the game. That being said, in the LPL, Xie had some incredible performances, was a phenomenal mid laner in what was an upsetting, or at least regular season for him. But that being said, that's why I would love to see how they match up against the Korean team, because Keen had a rookie season, rookie of the year, honestly. If you were to look at globally, oh yeah, because he is by far, I'd say, the best top laner in the world. If you were to see his performance in Rift Rivals, of course, if you were to see his performance in the current regular season, he's somebody that you have to really watch on, because he has such a strong champion pool. Quinn is a champion that I would immediately point a finger to and say that he wants to be able to take a massive control in the lane.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, like when you look at Keen, you talk about him being, you know, a rookie top laner, but also being exceptionally strong. I reckon he's probably the most, if not one of the most consistent players on that team right now. You know, you look into the mid lane, and you're just like, just Unkillable Demon King Faker. But I mean, right now, SKT didn't even make playoffs coming out of the LCK. So it's just like, if you're looking at consistency right now, you're probably looking towards the top side of the map.
100%. That's why if you saw the player right in front of you, Let Me and MLXG, I would love to see them try and counteract the pressure on the top side of the map with Peanut and Keen. Just because if there is one point of weakness in the Korean side, the fact that, of course, in the qualifiers, Peanut didn't have the best synergy. That's why this time around we're going to be bringing in Score. It's Keen, Score, Faker, Ruler, and Core JJ rounding up the lineup.
Yeah, Ruler and Core JJ, of course, have a lot of time together on the Rift, so the bottom side should be pretty solid. There will be Uzi and Mako facing them down in this matchup, at least in the first time they're going to be facing each other in the group stage. And I don't know if Uzi's gone on record, and it's like, if you had to play over support, who would it be? And he said Mako. So if he's got the person he wants by his side right now, so we'll see if they can take down that bottom.
It always depends on how they want to play the lane, because a lot of the times, especially if you saw the last game, playing the Kaisa and Alistar bottom lane, they're obviously looking towards the team fight phase of it. If you're going across Ruler and Core JJ, you cannot just look past the laning phase as they did in the previous game. They will try and nail you down on the laning phase, and they'll have the preparation, or at least the backing of Faker, who will likely pick the Galio if it's given to him. So a lot of focus is going to be towards the bottom lane, but I feel like if the top side gets tilted into Keen's favor, that looks undoubtedly difficult for China, because then you're going to have the top lane pile on and down for you, and then the bottom lane you'll have what seems to be a good, strong three-man bot side focus. So I want to see how level 1 of the league starts it off.
Yeah, I mean, frankly, these are just all-star rosters coming out from the People's Republic of China versus the Republic of Korea right here, and it will just be sparks flying in every single lane. There's no weak link. You know, that's the big deal right here. I mean, these are the tournament favorites coming forward, and we're fully expecting both of these two to make it out of the group stage.
Yeah, and honestly, because I want to get right into the matchups here, for me it's going to be about MLXG versus...
Oh, it's all the jungles for you.
I know, I love the jungle, but this time around, because at least their styles are majorly contrasting.
I'll give it to you,
And the qualifiers, we got to see MLXG versus Peanut, and I was like, oh, okay, that's going to be wild. We're going to be seeing a lot of hectic nonsense. This time around, MLXG versus the methodical, surgical Score. He's going to be incredibly smart around playing pressure-wise, looking for counter ganks. It's going to be on MLXG to play a little bit of slower game. try and be undetected early on in the game.
He's a very different beast, but I do think our riff rally with MLXG showed that he can compete with that type of style. For now, though, we're into Champions set with China and Korea. It will be Varus and Rise, the first two bans from China, and then on the red side, Aatrox and Camille. Going back to something I'm a little bit more used to in terms of the meta here, Raz.
Yeah, and Varus is a pick that you have to take off the board in 8.15, 8.16. It's just a strong bottom lane, no matter if it goes Comet or lethal tempo. So that does open up the Kai'Sa a little bit for China down the ranks. They can then just kind of like say, yeah, you don't have to actually worry about the bottom lane anymore in first pick. I want to pick Rakan here. I think Rakan is a very strong bottom lane and allows Ruler and Core JJ to go towards the Xayah Rakan matchup. Alistar being banned does open it up a little bit. That being said, if you pick up the Rakan, then it opens up the other team to go towards the Tahm Kench.
Yeah, this is actually super important around the bot side of the map, just to open up these first couple of picks right here. As you just said, Alistar, very strong pick into Rakan. That one now taken away here from Korea, puts China in a bit of a bind.
Akali is open though. So Rives is a major counter pick towards the Akali in the laning phase, but LeBlanc is still open. Yeah. There we go, Akali immediately getting locked in. But Faker is an incredible, in fact, he started his career just nailing players down on the LeBlanc. I want to see right here in the best of one, him just lock it in the first phase pick ban.
I mean, this is the thing with Fake, you know, everyone thinks a bit of the big flashy plays, but this guy's the innovator as well in the mid lane, you know. If anyone's going to have a pick to counter out an Akali, a new pick coming forth in the mid lane, it will be Faker. I remember when he was playing AP Tahm Kench and solo queue for some reason. Who knows whether that's going to come through, but I definitely think that, as you said, LeBlanc could be a massive pick from here, but the bottom lane is going to be confirmed here by Korea. It's going to be Tahm Kench and Ashe.
Next best thing when it comes down to bottom lane pressure when the Varus is locked down is to go towards the Ashe. Now I want to see if Uzi and Mako still goes towards the Kai'Sa focus, just because it's incredibly difficult to look down Tahm Kench and Ashe and not just get pushed in and lose your tower at 10 minutes. That's a major focus here. China needs a strong bottom lane to push out, or need to think about just all-inning on their top side. Because this is actually very difficult now if you're China. Now you've locked in a Kai'Sa that is very likely going to get pushed in repeatedly, and Akali just has bad pushing matchups, so Korea has a very intelligent draft. Right. That being said, the Rakan locked in means that they have a lot of engage opportunities.
Yeah, the Birdman comes in alongside Kai'Sa. I mean, you know, Uzi is not a man to turn down, you know, when a gauntlet is being thrown in front of him. It's like, heck yeah, lock me in the Kai'Sa, give me a playmaker and support. I got Mako alongside me, arguably the best, if not top 2 Rakan in the entire LPL league right here. So, I mean, bottom lane going to be super spicy down there. We're going to actually see a Galio come forward from Korea. Expect that one to go into the mid lane for Faker.
Yeah, so it's going to go towards him. That being said, I want to see the laning phase between the two, because typical laning phase between Akali and the Galio is that the Galio does get pushed in a little bit, but it's going to be very difficult for the Akali to ever actually escape a gank. To kill him, of course, because he's going to be going to the resolve tree. To escape a gank because he has the taunt, so immediately you can see Xie going towards cleanse is a great indicator of how that lane is going to be playing out. And if Akali ever roams out of the lane, then of course there's going to be a Galio that follows. So great front to back so far coming out of the Korean line.
Oh yeah, big fan of the Galio matchup. It's definitely still in its infancy, seeing a lot of players fail in that match, but also the tactics are there. You know, the setup is 100% there, and as you're alluding towards the jungle as well, score is going to be a major part of that mid lane matchup. The 2 versus 2 in the mid lane and jungle will be something to keep an eye on.
I'm immediately looking towards the Kindred pick, just because you already have a Galio, a Tahm Kench. You could very easily go towards another tank top laner, but you can already see from the second phase bans alone Cho'Gath and the Ornn that they're already trying to nail that away from Let Me, so maybe they go towards the carry pick. But the reason why I say Kindred is because by far the strongest jungler, which is why immediately getting banned out by China is the last one.
Yeah, Kindred gone, Jace ban, taking away a lot of these playmakers. And of course, Let Me, everyone knows he's a tank player on the top side, trying to take away as many of those as possible. But, you know, something like a Mundo's still up there for him as well. Let Me's not going to be too phased from that, just a lot of the utility picks taken away in terms of the engage. And we'll have a Gragas here from Korea.
Or Gnar, honestly. Remember, now his role is just to pick blindly. He doesn't know what he's going up against, and he knows that the enemy jungler on the Gragas, mid laner, Galio, there's a lot of dive potential, so he just needs to think about saving himself. That being said, that might be an Akali top lane.
It could be an Olaf top.
There's a lot of things it could be, but remember, Olaf has to be jungle.
It has to, yeah.
That is literally the only jungle. So you just picked the only wrong
I picked the only,
out
of all the right answers, I picked the
I respect the hustle, though. I respect it. But yeah, Akali
might put this in my mind, man.
Akali might go top lane, which is great. One thing to take note of is no mana cost there, so if you're Republic of Korea, you want to pick up a top lane, you want to try in something that has sustained damage that can consistently stay in lane. Now, GP is not that.
He's the opposite of that, right?
Is the opposite. I was thinking more of a Gnar pick here as well.
Yeah.
You might have the all-in against you, because Akali might be able to take the all-in, especially post 6. But then you can actually set up the dives pretty easily. But this just showcases that Republic of Korea having an eye on towards the bottom lane. So it's going to be Kai'Sa and the Rakan that is a major target, as GP, once he pings 6, can send down the ultimate right down there.
As you said, bot lane focused here. And also, if you're going to give it over to anybody, I feel like the safest hands in the east right here, Keenan in top lane. Give him the gangplank, he's probably going to be able to get out of the laning phase fine.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
I mean, this is definitely a bit of a curveball coming out here from China. We'll see which lanes these get swapped up into in the end, because I fully expect it not to be Rakan mid.
Now, they did make a mention that they have been putting in a lot of preparation for this specific game. So as we're taking a look at it, all right, it's getting locked in, of course, there we go. That they've had that prep towards Let Me. Now, Let Me, of course, he already made a mention that he is a tank top laner, a facilitator in a lot of cases, but he always does come out in the regular season that he's like, hey, I can play Chase, I can play carry top, I can take a bullet, just give it to me, and I can at least lead you towards victory before we head in towards the bracket stage, the best of 3s. This time around, he's saying that you do have to respect me going up against the King. Major pressure on his shoulders. We'll have to see how that lane ends up going, and if MLXG can try and upset it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, China were playing fast and loose earlier today in our first match of the day, and Let Me actually had the highest damage in that game. But the fact that they're still looking towards this versus Korea is interesting to me as we take a look at the rosters once again and one more time before we head on to the Rift.
Here we go. Just taking a look at Korea's composition immediately. I love seeing the Predator Gragas as we are just about to get in.
Yes, we are on to the Rift. China versus Korea. This is the match that everybody wants to see. The first time they'll face up against each other will happen once more tomorrow before we get into the bracketed stage.
"30 seconds until minions spawn."
Oh my. Followed us over from China, Raz. The crowd chants coming forth right there.
Yeah, the fans at both ends definitely making the trip. Thank you guys for making it.
Heck yeah. It's a long trip, about a 5-hour plane ride. Even more than that if you try and swim.
I mean, at least you're saving some dollars.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But we'll save... you don't watch much LPL, our fan clubs over there. Very well organized. You can see that they are ready for today.
Now, it's always tough gauging the level 1s between both of these teams. Now, Olaf, you'd usually say, well, Olaf, of course, give it level 1s towards them. But then you have the Tom Kent, a lot of damage that he can dish out. Ash Folly, of course, and just looking at the CC from both Galio if he's holding on to his ability so he can just mark into the W. And as well as the Gragas then. You don't want to do it if you're China. Going into the enemy jungle, not being able to know if they're all standing in one bush, so makes it so it's much safer for both ends to just keep themselves hidden within their own camps. Nothing fancy for the best of them.
Yeah. Here, though, I am looking towards the top side of the map because if you've just tuned in, you didn't watch Champion Select. Yes, that's Akali top lane, and yes, it's Let Me piloting it. And also both the junglers are pathing towards the top side, of course, on the bottom side, so Score's going to find himself up here shortly. So we'll see what happens in this 2 versus 2.
This has been a typical pathing of this patch recently, is that you just take your full top side camps and then you base and go towards the bottom side. It makes a lot of sense for both these junglers because they're both Predator junglers. You can take your full top side, get the most experience out of it, base, get your boots, and then you can make a path towards bottom lane. Of course, then you would be able to get the Predators online with boots enabled. So that should be the pathing here. Now, if you're Gragas and you don't know where Olaf is going to be pathing towards, then it's just safer to try and go for the most experienced pathing. Otherwise, it's a risk and you'll just lose out on experience because Olaf is just an experienced hawk. He just runs through the jungle like a hawk.
Yeah, he doesn't care, man. He'll keep going. He doesn't need to go for that recall because he's Olaf. You can see right now he's actually very, very healthy. Hasn't even burnt through his potion yet. First back coming through for the Gragas, but has picked up his boots. So Predator online, looking for some early gank / counter ganks. He's also now level 3. Will be important for him, but yeah, really do like the Predator nowadays on that Gragas.
Take a look at this. MLXG didn't base, actually. So that means that he took his top side immediately, foregoing his red buff. Might end up getting a gank here. This is a great position to do that. He's already been seen here, so great pathing here from Score. Gets an eye on MLXG, so he either has to base or take the camps that are already here for him. So it's not a lot of efficiency just based off that first pathing anyways, just because Score got an eye on it.
Yeah. He will secure both crabs on both sides of the map, though, so a lot of extra experience going over to him as well as gold. And mid lane just kind of, you know, going at it. I remember that Sheer had some pretty fond memories of this matchup versus Faker. Definitely not the first time these two have gone toe-to-toe.
He's always gotten the counter matchup. Historically, of course, 2017 Rift Rivals, you got the Lucian into the Galio this time. You got the Zoe. A few things change in this respect. You can see that the wave's not fully pushed in towards him, so Galio, Faker here has to watch out. It's great that he's gotten the Resolve primary tree. Very difficult to actually peel through all that resistance that he has just innately. But he does still have to watch out for if he ever pushes into the tower, because of course the gank pressure that Olaf has here, the Sleepy Trouble Bubble that GA can always look to throw out there, so always keep an eye on the matchups.
Yeah, the goal is survival, but as you said, because it's instantaneous, the resistance he can get from his statue of Durand, and also the fact he has the Aftershock instant resistances, great against a burst champion like Zoe, so we'll be able to survive a lot of this laning phase, you'd have to hope. There's currently even in farm, so he's totally fine in the mid lane. Top side though, Score looking to set a potential gank here onto Let Me Flash, and the E coming out there. Let Me try and jump away from this one, but has to turn around. I mean, his only hope is look for a trade, and that'll be first blood over to the jungle of Korea.
Just great timing there, because of course Faker had the push in the mid lane, so there's no opportunity for anyone to go up top side to help him out. And MLXG was coming out of base, so it's great. One opportunity, one window that Score was able to find, and he was able to net the kill.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff coming out from him. But again, Let Me just not burning his flash, realize the situation he was in, trying to double down on the play. But I mean, that's perfect. You know, we were talking about this matchup, we were talking about like the gangplank and how he'll be dealing into an Akali match. I mean, it's just like, oh, I don't know about this one. But right now, the support coming in from the jungle is really just what has turned the matchup.
Take a look at this one. Quick and easy, of course. W is already gone from Akali, so there's no way to hide in obscurity at that point in time. One thing to make note of. GP just came back from base with Sheep, so he's also a Grasping and Dying GP, so he's actually really strong stats-wise up against the Akali. Should take the matchup here from this point forward. So very possibly, Score can make a repeat gank, but with the flash already being held by Let Me, he should be in a good position to now flash out of that if the gank does come topside. And he should have Olaf to at least put down a defensive ward, if not try and get a counter.
Yeah, I wonder actually, because Let Me's about to ding 6. The fact he just has, now he has priority over this wave, already has the CS advantage of 2 waves. And also MLXG is on the top side of the map right here. I believe Score's just been spotted by that ward. So the Sheen's going to help, yes, but there still is the burst potential coming from the card that's going to zone him away from these minions. I'm actually saying, no,
pick it back up.
No, easy recall for you. I'm going to try and put him to sleep, but he's going to make the heroic exit. I don't even know where he's gone.
There we go. He's just gone up out of there. And he's basing anyways. He's like, get me out of this lane already. If he got chased down, then there was a possibility of a kill. The Sleeping Trouble Bubble did land. And of course, the exhaust was picked up. So it was just a good idea to expend your ultimate. Does mean, though, that Korea wants to actually look for a play in the bottom lane, that it's going to be pushed to the side for a little bit. No TP, no ultimate from the Galio means that he's not going to be a part of the play unless if he just walks down bottom lane alone.
Let Me playing this matchup really well. Actually, this is the type of thing that I just want to watch the entire laning phase. If I could just keep the camera on the top side, I'd be a happy man, Raz.
You don't make that choice.
No, I don't, unfortunately, because the rest of the map counts a lot. But yeah, seeing this Akali in the top side, and actually just seeing those small interactions with him versus Keen is fascinating. The fact that you can see the CS advantage being opened up here is, in part, the fact that Let Me knows this, at least knows how to play Akali in the top lane. He's playing around those pushes exceptionally well.
Yeah, I'm a little worried, though, because with how well he's been playing up in the top side, just excluding the gank that came through, you can already see the game starting to speed up in the bottom side of the map. So he's going to have to be a little bit more cognizant of what's happening bot side. He doesn't have his teleport enabled, so it's like maybe if he wants to be able to help his team, he's going to have to think about pushing out, rotating mid once that he gets that chance so his team can actually place down defensive wards bot side, because Republic of Korea has actually been putting a lot of pressure there. That being said, Score's top side, that's going to fake Team China out a little bit. giving them an idea that, hey, you know, we're contesting vision bot side, but actually we're making a gank happen top side.
Yeah, not going to have vision over this one. The wave was pushing towards Let Me right there, so no vision, no knowledge lost or gained. But in the bottom side, yeah, I think that's really where we're expecting the next thing to happen, because 6 has just been picked up here by the Ashe. Down to around half right here, Ruler. But again, you've got Gallo, the setup coming in from him. Gragas now happy towards bottom side. The Dragon is up. Top side has got the ultimate ready to go in the cannon barrage. And as you said, Let Me doesn't have his teleport. So if Korea wants to make a play, you probably bet a couple dollars that it would be in the bottom side.
So just let me paint a picture for you.
Okay.
All right. So immediately, of course, you can already see the Republic of Korea playing a lot of control wards in the bottom side of the map. Ashe, ping 6, you want to at least give her more opportunities, because bottom lane's going to be thinking that, you know, as long as we're not in a bad position, as long as we're hugging that turret, we should be fine, which is correct. That being said, you're going to put that on hold in the top lane.
Oh yeah, no one expects the Berserker coming out of the jungle with Predators. Keen goes with the orange right there. Double flash coming through, double ultimate, but that's still going to be a return kill. Keen playing that one exceptionally well.
Hugging his tower, really well done. Now, there is no opportunity to be able to get it done. That being said,
We didn't see it didn't happen.
it definitely happened. You can't run away from this one. That actually turns into a bottom lane tower immediately because he's committing to this one. So while on the top side, of course, you make the dive happen. Great. Akali may take the tower, but she goes into obscurity, so it's going to be Olaf. And you playing that long time round, you want to commit for the kill. Guess what? You're going to be losing a little bit of tempo yourself. So MLXG coming onto the map and seeing what is carnage in the bottom lane. Good choice from Score to, of course, pick the bottom lane apart, knows that he has the numbers advantage there.
Yeah, again, that play did happen. Well, we were just saying that. We were expecting it to happen. But top side, it was all a red herring. So getting that kill back in return evens up the matchup. And also, Akali was naturally winning through a CS. But we actually get to see what happened on the bottom side. Ruler very low, but I expect it's just set up from barrel. Oh,
wow.
Wow, coming out from the Score, yeah. And Core JJ just getting the secure in there at the end.
Ruler just wanted to assist, man. He was like, unhand me, minions, please.
Get me out.
Get me the kill. It wasn't going to happen. So at least good setup from Score. The Gragas knocked back the ultimate into the body slam. Well done from him.
Smooth as you like. Didn't even need Ruler in the end.
Yeah, he has 2 kills. I mean, you see a lot of times where a Gragas is going, of course, with a new build, which is going straight towards the AP. Now, here's the solo queue question I always have to ask myself. Because if you look, you see it in competitive play a lot of times, Gragas will say, well, I mean, if I want to play smart, I will go straight towards tank afterwards. And then I'll just have the runic echoes. But with how many kills he's going, maybe he goes towards his own. Yeah, maybe I'm just putting that out there. Proto belt, perhaps. I've seen it in solo queue.
I've seen it. I've also seen it in the LPL. Though this is a score that we're talking about right here, so I would wager that he would probably go tank from here out. Maybe he'd go for another AP item from here, but I'm expecting tank from here on out.
It's just an exceptionally squishy composition that he's going up against, so that's why the opportunity arises here. MLXG's builds, you have to look towards how he usually builds out his Olaf, goes towards the black cleaver.
Yep.
So great mid game, but then atrocious later on. So just depends how he plays it out. But he's already eyeing once again bottom lane. I think the Ashe arrow is up and available. So just trying to set it up. Even if you don't find an opportunity bottom lane, control wards leading towards mid makes it so Zoe could be the next victim.
Thing is though, you know, RNG, which is the majority of this roster, like to strike fast and they like to strike hard. I think that a lot of international viewers will be very aware of that, but they've come the bottom side. A different dynamic here for Uzi. Of course, Sheer in the mid lane. So, obviously been a massive component over WE for the last year, the last 2 splits, you know, 2018. He's been one of the shining lights for that roster.
Yeah, coming out, of course, in 2017 was known as a great team player. Now just being known as a great individual player. So being slotted into this lineup, very natural. I know that there were some issues that they had during the qualifiers where a lot of times communication between him and the rest of the team was desynced. But coming into this game, back on the Zoe, I expect to see incredible plays. Remember, going up against Faker, has a great eye on the matchup, now has teleport enabled. So it all comes down to how he ends up sinking into the team once again, how the team fights end up going. It's very difficult playing team fights as a Zoe pick, especially if you're going straight front to back. So he has to be creative, finding an eye on the back line if he can get an angle with the trouble bubble.
I actually think that, you know, line of thinking can be extended to a lot of what Channon's running right here, because you're, again, as you said, you're running wouldn't say like a pure glass cannon, but this isn't the tankiest of rosters. Like, Olaf's probably the tankiest member on this team, but then you're looking at kind of semi-tankiness coming out of these players. Maker's going to be coming forward, and hopefully China's going to be moving forward with him. And you're also going to be looking off of picks with the Zoe. So like, if you're looking towards Korea right here, they have a much easier composition to execute.
100%. I think it's just an outright counter pick composition, because if you look towards the composition of China, they just want to look to dive. There's a lot of dive threats in open-ended fights around Dragon or towards Rift Trails and Barons. Then they want to either look for flanks so they can immediately get straight towards Ruler. With how slow this game is playing out in the laning phase alone, 13-minute laning phase, and for how drawn out Control War is being well executed here from Korea, there's no opportunity for China to even get out of their own lanes, let alone look for a dive. And if they do, I mean, the teleports, double teleport here from Republic of Korea with the Gangplank ultimate and the Galio ulti, I just don't see it happening for China.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially how the early game has gone right now. I mean, Korea has just straight up stymied everything that China really wanted to do in the early game. MLXG got his first death of the game, didn't really manage to set up too much outside of that top lane dive, and even then Korea made a counterpunch. So it just makes China very skittish about making any play at all.
They were trying here, but great positioning from Core JJ. Sittenbush didn't have the ward enabled for him. So
too watertight.
There we go. Got an eye on them when they're trying to look for a dive. And usually if you're a team like China here and you can't really get any plays happening in the lanes, you would look towards the Dragon. But Ocean Dragon, when all eyes are on it, is actually incredibly risky to look for. Gank opportunity here.
Uzi taking a lot of damage, and it's actually Mako going forwards. Finds the triple charm right there. Olaf coming into the bottom lane, Korea moving forwards, but actually needs to pay respect right now because Sheer looking for that bubble. Putting Tam Kench to sleep, but not permanently. China look to disengage.
It's a big just kidding at the end of the day. Mako played that one out masterfully because he could have actually been bopped himself. But incredibly, wistful getting here and out and there. The fact that Gragas couldn't find a great opportunity to throw on his own cast, so he just didn't. And when he tried to go for a body slam, we might see something on Ruler.
Oh, got the Gallo ultimate coming down. Mako caught right in the middle of that one. Double taunt coming through, and he is slapped down with a colossal smash. Faker still moving forwards, Flash coming through. Animation cancel on the Justice Punch, and Score looks for more. Blasters forward, but now he's under attack from Uzi. Takes the full Acapian Rain. In comes Sheer. He wants blood right now. Now bit of shut down. Axe coming through from the Olaf. Sheer now corralling Faker, turning around, looking for the damage onto Uzi. Doesn't have the cooldowns, and Uzi will find his kill.
There we go. China made something out of nothing, and that's good enough. The fact that the dive ended up happening here from Korea, well done, but went way too deep. In fact, even chose the wrong target. Tried so hard to get on towards MLXG, forgot that the AD carrier was right beside you. So take a look at this, because it started with China going straight on towards Ruler, but of course Tom Kench is going to whisk your way. There's no way you can get on top of him. Great kill on towards Mako, and then this is where the dive happens. Just look at Uzi. It's like just being forgotten, getting free damage on towards the Gragas, and no one was even touching him. So at the end of the day, Xie comes through and actually just makes the cleanup happen. It was a great start from Korea, poor ending from them.
Yeah, I mean, that was just massive value MLXG got out of both his Ragnarok and the Flash. It's almost as if when aggressing on him, they were just like, there's no way he has any of his summoners or cooldowns whatsoever. It's like, hello? Like, MLXG hasn't even visited the lane in the last 5 minutes.
Definitely mind when being there.
Yeah, I'm just a little shocked, because this is not what I expected out of some of these individual players at the very least coming out of Korea. I mean, that's just straight up a Chinese player if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, and I think it just comes down to the confidence that they had. If you look towards how Galio entered the fight, the immediate 70 resistances he had on towards him, he just looked very tanky at the Rod of Ages there. So the fact that they went for the dive and it started so well, they thought they could just go straight deep. Didn't happen, of course, but they can keep making the plays happen. The real worry here for People's Republic of China is the fact that with as great as they are as players, the composition that they have does not enable them to get to the back as long as Tom Kench is there and as long as Galio has ultimate.
Yeah, there are compositional errors or problems coming in here for the Chinese roster, but it's small plays like this. If that play never happened, I'd be like, I don't know, man. It just seems like Korea's play right now is just completely airtight. I don't see any way into this game, but by giving them an inch, they will take a mile.
So we get to see that coming topside. Hopefully trying to nail down the side lane and maybe trying to get some flanks. We're already in game, so we get to see the action happen.
Yeah, and here we go, back into game. Pause over and done. Hopefully Faker's headset is all fixed up now. and get back into the action. So we're now 17 minutes into this game, 4-4 in kills. And China just winning the last skirmish, but Korea's still ahead in terms of gold. You can see a lot of that coming through from the farm in the mid lane, and of course Gangplank being Gangplank.
So I already love what I see here. The fact that the Rift Herald was picking up the top side of the map. So this is pretty poor for Korea. The fact that they went a little overzealous in the bottom lane and now lose out in pressure in the future play. Because it doesn't matter how the wave's happening in the bottom lane or being pushed out top side with your dual lane. They're sending them to top side. You have to respond to the Rift Herald play. And ordinarily, MLXG would place in mid lane. So you already see him darting straight towards the area. It's going to be difficult for Faker to make a hold on his own. So you're going to have to at least see Score come out and help.
I mean, this is the great thing about this composition, though, from Korea, is because they can all just dogpile onto the mid lane as fast as you like. Abyssal Voyage from top side. You're going to have Score probably around the area anyway, because Score is always just 5 steps ahead. And then Keen as well. At the very least, will be able to support the Cannon Barrage, if not teleport, since he does have it up. So China will be all of them having to be in the right place at the right time. That being said, you're going to be looking towards some like Sheer to be landing your Sleepy Trouble bubbles.
Yeah, you already see it's not really too much of an impact on Faker. Faker is way too tanky at this stage of the game, going towards Zhonya's next. So that just makes it a little bit harder for a mid lane dive play to happen. You already made a mention of Abyssal Void, so even though China's been putting a lot of pressure topside to stop them from being able to help out mid lane, you can already just, ulti right toward mid lane to help them out. 3 men already underneath towers. So at the very least, the options are there for Korea.
100%, just constantly being able to react to these plays. China were looking to set something up from top side, and Korea like, not today, Sunshine. Push them back into the river, push them down, back into their own jungle from whence they came. It's a bit of a farming frenzy up the top side, securing the Rift Scuttle. I think it'll be pretty nice, actually. China's looking to make a rotation top side. We're just blocking up another point, another choke point.
Vision, speed. It's great for Korea to be able to nail this one down so they can actually get a good eye of where MLXG is coming. It nails down his route, so he actually has to be deeper in his own jungle to make the decision to either go mid lane or top lane, and just be undetected.
And for now, we're pretty much back to the laning phase. I call this one the Australian lanes. We're actually just swapping the bottom side to top. Score's going to be finding himself up here. He knows he has vision control, since they literally just secured it. He's going to be taking out this control ward, and that's MLXG right there in place. So just both junglers beating each other, matching move for move. Teleport back into topside though from Uzi.
Yeah, so you can already see that MLXG is fairly dedicated here. Most junglers would either, of course you could stick top lane, try and brute force it, it's possible. You can already see Zoe pushing out mid lane means that she's actually ready and able to go topside. Or you can then base help out Let Me, because that's an uncontested play. You can either go for a dive, get the Rift Herald throw in the bottom lane, but you know that it's 20 minutes and that Korea can make a play on the Baron. We'll have to see. You can already see if he's going to follow it up.
I mean, probably. I mean, he's got a ton of damage right now. Keen turning around, pops a cannon barrage, prevents him from going any further, and Scores coming down from the river, looks for the flash as well. Gets the slow down from the barrel roll, follows over the ultimate, and he is dead before he lands. Kill over, parlay, kill to Keen.
No escape whatsoever. He tried, but Predator Gragas' man runs at you. He just waddles in your direction. You're like, I have so many dashes, but there ain't no way for me to escape. At the very least, he can make the call towards the top side of the map to actually make the push going. Rift Herald is going to smash into the second there.
Yep, second charge. Oh, we don't get to see the damage from Shelly, but even so, that was a kill in the bottom side of the map. And that is a matchup that's, you gotta feel good if you're a Kali. You're itemizing AP, you go for the Sorks, and then Keen is itemizing towards the rest of the AD damage threats on the team. It's like, I could do this, but in the end, it's just a bait. Score's gonna be around that corner, and he's gonna chase you down.
Yeah, it feels bad. In hindsight, he's going to be looking at it and saying, maybe I should have just went for the all-in because he was just in that area. He didn't know that he was closed off. And it's only going to be harder now that Trinity Force completed on Keen, even has the Hex Drinker, so just going to be able to survive from a lot of the burst damage that Kali has here. So doing well 20 minutes into the game, and it's only going to get better here for Keen.
Yeah, I mean, that was the window, essentially. He just picked up Hex Drinker, and he just picked up the Caulfield Warhammer right there. And he was just a Triforce to his name. So unfortunate for him. MLXG also not really getting involved on the play, has been typically moving towards his duo lane.
Yeah, you're talking about the items. Let's talk about it all for Korea. The fact that we have 2 items across the board. Zhonya is completed by Galio, so he wants to fight. Just the Runan's Hurricane being completed for ruler, so he's actually in a very good position. A lot of magic resist here from the Gragas. TP being lost down here.
Yeah, MLXG just pulling a bit of a U-turn, but he's going to keep on following. Ragnarok pops and Keen getting chased down, forces the flash. He's going to be happy with this for now.
It's always a tough call whether you want to complete the teleport because, of course, mid lane's under siege. If you finish it up, you already see half HP on the tower, that it should just be mid lane tower. He makes the hard choice of sticking mid lane, and with that, of course, GP does have to burn the flash. It's a hard call to make, but at the very least, life is saved bottom lane, and the mid lane tower is saved as well.
Yeah, it's not a kill, it's not a tower, it's not something tangible coming in really for China, so in the end, it did work out for them. And this is really just, if you take a look just stylistically, I think that's the cool thing, actually taking a look at these teams like region-based, because, I mean, yes, you can argue that China, they have 3 players coming out from RNG, but in general, this is a smattering of different top teams coming out from both of these rosters, and then you look at the region stylistically, and I think that Korea, very good at stalling out, losing with grace, I think has always been the term that you would come out of the region, and right here, it's not like they're losing with grace, they're actually just doing very well for themselves with grace.
Yep.
They're just constantly able to stymie these players. Just hearing over from the second and third stages, we just had Vietnam just take their win over Kazakhstan. They'll be going 1-0 so far for themselves. That Indonesia currently taking on Chinese Taipei. I don't know how that one's going on. I mean, it's still going, so we'll find out the results after that.
I'd love to talk about Vietnam because being 1-1 so far, of course, taking the loss to Korea earlier today.
Yep.
All eyes are going to be on Vietnam because this group is fairly strong. Of course, Vietnam, we know them to be a lot of the players. Of course, the core lineup is literally Evos.
It's literally Evos.
Yes, that went to MSI in the past and had a great performance. So for them, going up against a lot of these teams, you can and probably will slip up to them. So taking the top 2 spots in the group is much more harder than you would expect it to be.
I mean, they are not a blue shell. They're a contender. They will be at this tournament. All right, we're back onto the Rift one more time. Hopefully the peripheral issue got sorted out right there. Now 22 minutes into the game. And it's going to be MLXG just sewing up the Dragon, though. We did have a tower fall while all that was happening. And actually, Ruler still pushing in the top side of the map.
Yeah, just an interesting choice here from MLXG to go for the Ocean Dragon bot side. The only rate you can actually get the Ocean Dragon and not get contested, lose your life first, is if the top side play is happening. It is happening, losing a lot of HP on the top lane tower. And just vision as well. Remember, it's 22 minutes into the game, so Korea is in a great spot to actually contest for Baron.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a major loss right there, but yeah, it's coming off the back of a pause as well, so probably a bit of mixed comms. Korea definitely made the most of that situation for certain. 4,000 gold ahead, as you said, massive vision on top side. Pretty much lit up like a Christmas tree. And Baron will be a very big thing in the next couple minutes from now. So Korea are definitely set up for success. Look towards Keen in the bottom side. Continuing to farm up. Playing patient, and it's rewarded him. Look, he's only 10 CS down. He's about to get this mini wave to resolve. So he's probably ahead in gold right now.
Yeah, there we go. Because at this point, you have to be aware tower right behind him. He doesn't want to extend off towards the next wave, which would really be a detriment. Knowing that MLXG was on the bottom side earlier taking the Dragon, there's no telling if he's actually still there because there's no vision in the bottom side area at all for Team Korea. So you can already see that Keen understanding that he's in a pretty dicey position. And if there's going to be a play being made, it's probably going to be made on his head. So understanding that he's in a good spot, doesn't want to lose it.
Roland Core JJ rotating towards this mid lane. Keeping their eye around the river. Will be a catalyst for a team fight Ruler with these arrows. Haven't just been shooting them out randomly in this game, looking for a potential pick, always just waiting for the perfect opportunity to nail someone down.
Oh yeah, it's my favorite game, The Zoe Sleepy Trouble Bubble win condition. Throw him out if you can. If they hit somebody, hit him. Smack him on the head.
It's 2018 Thresh, baby.
Make him pay.
For something. Faker pushing forwards, though, will not be able to find any punches on the Ragnaroking Olaf. What a dodge coming out there from Mako. Draws out the arrow as well, and Score cannot find anything. Multiple flashes burned from China, though.
Yeah, double flash. They knew that Score was going to look for him, so that's key. That is pivotal for the next fight. Knowing, putting down in the chat that China is not ready for the next fight, won't have the flashes, so it's going to be much easier to actually look for a kill on Uzi if they get the chance to.
China are as slippery as you like. A nice gobble up there from Core JJ as well, making that bubble ineffectual. Tamken's just a great pick right here. I mean, even the bubble's ineffectual. But mid lane siege is still happening, sending out the volley. Instant wave clear on this one. We'll see what China have in the next minion wave, but I mean, he might have to defuse. Right now, just playing this arrow, and Faker is moving towards the top side. He actually might just carry on pushing this wave.
Yeah, so there's no way for China to actually continue to look for this tower, because if they do, that top lane tower has already been primed and ready. Oh, here we go, though. Predator being popped.
Oh, he's locked on.
He's going for it.
He wants it. I mean, Faker low on mana. Was expecting the juke, didn't happen. And Faker will simply walk away from the play.
Best way to get out.
Heck yeah.
Get the morning jog.
He didn't even need to pop the ultimate, didn't need to pop a flash or anything. It feels like Korea just playing a lot sharper in this game, to be honest, when you look towards China. A lot of the plays have been very ham-fisted.
Yeah, it's just a classic case of cat and mouse. You push in mid, you already see top lane towers being threatened, and a top lane could get taken down if they try to. Faker also had the opportunity of looking for a flank play, knowing that was ready and available for him if the mid lane push kept going. And they had infinite wave clear with the GP having ultimate. The barrels are strong as well, as the Sheen, as well as the Yomu's Ghost play. So it's just very difficult for China to actually look for a play mid lane if Korea is grouped on top of that tower.
Yeah, it's surprising though, because we haven't seen China even look towards playing around power spikes, and that's just a massive thing for the region in general, especially when you have Uzi on your team. It's like, all right, guys, I'm 2 items. I got the Gwynteus, I've got the Storm Races. Had that for a good 6 to 7 minutes now. It didn't look towards making a play. Just carried on farming. There was never any proactive play utilizing Uzi.
It's very hard, because if they're trying to look for a play around teamfight, sure, he has the 2-item power spike, so he can actually get both his E and Q evolved. Looking for a dive here. This is their way to get into the game.
They're setting up, and the Killer Instinct is there.
One
Keen
more.
trying to kite backwards, but he is a fast gangplank. This is the day that you almost called Camjack Keen.
And no way you can touch him. That's actually 3 people bottom lane. So Korea, all focus around mid lane. What's the play here? You're all around Baron. You can start it, but it's giving time for China to actually respond. It's fairly squishy Gragas, so he doesn't want to be the one on top of it. Gonna blow a blue trinket. Oh, get him!
Oh, he found him on the body slam, and he was stunned when he got out of that portal, but he's still going to be able to dip and dive away from this one. I believe top lane tower just actually fell during the chaos there to Faker on top of that, so Korea is still winning out of these trades.
True, but it wasn't as big of a punish as I'd like it.
Yeah.
If you saw them all hanging around mid lane, they weren't on Baron when 3 people were bot side. Very close, let's go.
Dicing with Beth there, Xie, and it's going to be the arrow connecting onto Maker, but the follow-through still here from Score. He had the ultimate and the flash available if they wanted to collapse, but Korea, they only go for these 100% percentage plays, man. Like, even if there is a chance of failing, just don't go for them after that bottom lane dive.
Well, they tried. At the very least, Xie contesting the barrel being placed out from GP, so he can follow up. It's a little bit of a slow follow-up, but I think it would have been able to hit. Now we see that.
But the fishing.
They're fishing. They're really looking for it. The control wards will hold on the top side. It's going to be on China to either get a push on mid lane so they can find and contest it. But trying to contest Vision against a Tahm Kench slow, a Gragas body slam, and there's always going to be a Galio following up, is incredibly dicey. It's going to have to be MLXG. What's the challenger? Let's go!
He wants it, but I mean, Score, he's got a Tahm Kench behind him, and he's Gragas. So it's very difficult to make anything happen, though landing all the skill shots here. Someone's going to have to stand in front of him, give him the axe, and we have another pause. I feel you guys, I feel you. 3 pauses in one game.
You know what, get him to think about the angles a little bit. The wave's coming through, make the Zoe, get the paper out, start doing some math.
Bring out the protractor, yeah. Set up that geometry, man. He's got plenty of time.
How am I going to curve the ball around 2 members?
I don't know.
Call the developers.
What's that other thing you use in trigonometry? Compass?
Oh,
yeah. I just heard from production. Apparently there is problems on stage with the connectivity.
Lag on LAN, classic case.
Lag on LAN.
It's one
The meme is real.
Yeah, 100%.
But obviously a massive deal. Like a League of Legends. We all know it. We all play League of Legends. We most of us do. But anyway, all of us play video games, and lag on any video game is a bad thing.
So if you have the opportunity to stop it,
then
yell
you
at
probably
somebody,
should.
stop it.
Yeah.
So
it's like, oh, I'm sorry.
So you get into one of these positions where, at the very least, when you have these pauses, you can't talk to people around you, but you can think about it. Personally, think about your own role. What can you do to actually, positively impact the game for your team? A lot of the times, funny enough, with how linear the game is to push mid. Because that's the one way you can actually try and contest around Baron in this instance. A lot of times you look at this team, and we didn't get to see them really play patches in advance, and they already advanced to the best of 5 setting. They smashed, honestly. Yeah. They took down the Turkish lineup. And so for them to actually play that well in that setting, you're like, all right. And they go in towards the main stage of MSI. And that's where the global audience knew that you can't mess with Vietnam. Especially their junglers.
They'll mess you up.
Because you keep taking away the junglers in that region, they'll find new ones to put on that pedestal.
You've got Chinese Taipei as well. A lot of hype behind them.
We're back in it.
Are back in. Heck yeah, let's go. 29 minutes into the game. Faker coming down, making a heroic entrance, and Mako hella dead.
Where is he coming from?
I don't know. He came from off screen.
Everyone just pressed buttons at the same damn time. And you see, oh, wait a minute, Tom Kench is going somewhere. Xie, you're done.
He's going on an abyssal voyage. Up Xie, he's on the run. Run, Forest, run! All right, Faker's got him in his sights. And you're gonna have to come back, son. Yeah, that's gonna be a colossal smash. Easy kill to Faker.
It literally all happened at the same time. I hope we get a replay on that.
I hope
at
so,
the
Rex.
very least, we're gonna be seeing the Baron being done. So for how tension, there's a lot of tension around the Baron area, and it all broke right there. So Korea should have an easy Baron day.
Yes, it did. 30 minutes on the clock, and Baron will be going down to Korea. The setup was good that we saw from the vision, and apparently that just turned into a straight-up win there. Yeah, I wasn't going to comment on that one. It looked like that was coming out from Let Me. But, yeah, he's looking up for those cleanup kills and those full health targets.
So, yeah, happened all in one go. Congratulations.
All right, we're going to have to play some CSI here, examine the crime scene.
They didn't even need the Galio ulti because he used it on top of people defensively. So, all right.
Oh, here's the Faker's fine. Actually, he's super fine in this 1 versus 2. Uzi's has to get the heck out of dodge as Maker's now being chased down. Faker, 3 seconds left on the Justice Punch, but we'll be able to... Oh, the dodge coming through from Mako and Uzi. Managed to find a shield on that one, but Mako might be the sacrificial Birdman. No, he's going to be fine on this. Faker takes the final tower shot, reduces the damage from the idol. But, oh man, spicy.
I don't know about
MLXG.
That's not going to work.
Lines up the shot.
You don't have people here, MLXG. Please. But yeah, so just all eyes on Gragas in that one because he was definitely coming out of flank, even through the ultimate. AP Gragas, hell of a drug, going to be able to try and nail down Uzi. Didn't happen, 1 HP to his name. Thank God he was able to get out of that situation.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best you could hope for in that situation is you know, coming out alive. But 31 minutes in Korea have Baron ready to make a power play. And still, there's a gap in my memory. It's like I have, you know, 2-minute amnesia.
Yes.
Where I just don't know what happens in the mini. I don't know what the setup was.
It was a condition, of course. 2-minute amnesia.
That just happens to the best of us.
100%. But it was real. I mean, we saw them getting good pick opportunities on towards Xie. So for them to be able to get a pick on towards Mako on the back end of things is good telling. That being said, 131's definitely in action. Double teleport here should just make it easy for Korea to now nail down towards the mid lane tower.
I'm unsure, but I feel like emotes are banned in this tournament, which sap the power from China. You know, heat up emotes. That's what I learned.
Nice conspiracy theory.
Yeah. Tinfoil hat off. And for now, Korea looking to set up. They've got their 1-3-1 ready to go. Keenan top side, bottom side being pushed in by Faker. Got score in rotation, and the mid lane slowly being chipped away from by Ruler. He's safe. He's got Tamken behind him. MLXG getting slowed down, volley falling through. And it's just a whole lot of nothing that China can do right now. This is just, it's a stranglehold.
You can pick your lane here. They're choosing top side as they're now converging on towards the GP. This is what happens. They're even holding the wave a little bit so they can actually do it at the same time. GP, oh, here we go.
Here is Entrance joining the fray, but that's a stun down. That will be an instant kill onto Uzi. The star player is dead. Double kill over to Ruler. Score into the base, and Xie jumps over outside of his base to escape this onslaught. But that's Core JJ on top of his base. He's going to spit him out. That's going to be another kill. Make that quadra kill for Ruler.
That's a team wipe. Every single member down on China's side. And just like that, game ends. 33 minutes. Korea blasting the People's Republic of China.
Case closed, Inspector Plasm. Full ace coming in for Korea right there, and it almost was anticlimactic in the end, wasn't it, folks? Nexus goes down, and Korea take the win.
All right, 80%, jacked up to 100%. Korea had such a great stranglehold based off of the team composition, strong play around what MLXG was doing, so he had no way to impact these lanes. Made it very difficult for the squad to be able to deal with.
A lot onto that invisible team fight as well.
Yes.
That's definitely a large part of the win here for Korea. Who are you feeling good? 2-0 now, leading the group in Group A. China now moving to 1-1.
This is how TV shows usually leave it to the audience, to their imagination, how that fight actually happened. How Mako is somehow Mako is in the bottom side of the map. It's up to you guys to figure out how that happened.
There you go, fill in the blanks. Figure it out. Come up with your own story.
It's probably correct.
Not wrong. Well-deserved win going over to Korea. Played it well from start to finish. One small blunder, but it's really about the recovery, and I think that was probably the cleanest recovery I've seen in a long while coming out from the team. It's like, all right, messed up on the bottom side, instantly reset tempo, reset momentum, and China didn't really manage to take the extra mile. They got the inch, but that was essentially it, and that is just a rare sight when you look at any Chinese squad.
Yeah, and 100%, I would say look towards what's about to happen in day 2. Taking a bow, Korea took down the top 2 teams of the group, and are set to face Kazakhstan tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
So immediately, favorites for the first place here in their group at the very least before they go into the semifinals. Korea's having a great time.
Yeah, massive fan following coming out here as well at Asian Games. You saw it there from the Korean fans coming over all the way from Korea and also China as well. You know, heard a lot of Jaios in the audience. Really nice to see that support come out for them here today and through the rest of the tournament, because it's not all sunshine and daisies for every single team. Losses happen, but it's about how you recover from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to knowing that it's a best-of-1 situation. Tomorrow comes up right quick, so you have to be able to prepare for the next one. Understand your game plan, because remember, on the same day, semifinals ends up happening. So preparing for the entire day, understanding what you as a team are the best at. Team fighting is there for, and playing around Uzi is there for Team China. And being able to recover and find yourself form for the semifinals is going to be important.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, I mean, even though it felt like a long one just because of all the pauses, to be honest, I mean, for the teams especially and for the players, tomorrow is the long one when you look at the day.
Yeah.
It's a potential of 11 games total, which is just a straight line, because we have potential tiebreaker scenarios and then we have semifinals happening immediately after that. That'll be a best of 3. So it could be a super, super long day for a lot of these teams. If you start playing at the start, you could be playing at the very end of that.